Hi, and welcome to Best in Tesla. So Tesla ended up in 2022 dominating the EV market in Europe. So Tesla was the leader and the dominating force, and then they went ahead and made a huge price cut, making the Tesla Model 3 and Y become the even more obvious choice if you're looking for an EV. And the timing could not be more perfect to take Europe by storm in 2023, as we see the EVs taking huge market share in most of Europe's biggest car markets, leaving the demand way above what the old legacy automakers can keep up with, putting even more market share up for grabs for Tesla and the Chinese. The European automakers are defenseless against Tesla's price cuts and production ramp in Berlin, and are left behind as demand for EVs reaches new highs in Europe, higher than what any of the European automakers are capable of producing of BEVs in 2023, setting Tesla up to grow even faster this year, maybe as high as 75%, while the old boys will see their total sales fall off a cliff, as the majority in Europe now wants EVs. Pure BEVs are now the largest powertrain in Europe's biggest car markets. So let's check it all out and let's dive right in. So let's start by taking a look at the biggest car market in Europe, Germany, where we also have the German automakers that will feel this the most. And we did see them tumble in 2022, as Tesla in 2021 had 11.2% EV market share in Germany, and someone like Volkswagen had 20.3%. And then all the competition came after Tesla in 2022, as all the short sellers were out saying, and Tesla market share fell to Tesla grew in market share to 14.9% in the biggest car market in Europe, with all the German car brands coming out with even more models. How is that possible? And Volkswagen, well, they fell to 13.4% EV market share in Germany. Ouch. So Tesla did the opposite of what the so-called expert and automotive analysts said they would. In Europe in general, not just looking at a single market, all the countries that report EV sales, Tesla grew from 13.8% to 15% market share. So even though the EV market grew very fast in 2022 here in Europe, Tesla outgrew the market. That should not be possible with all the competition coming into the market, but this is really a big testimony to Tesla's ability to grow fast, but is still reported as a big miss in 2022, right? And how slow the old guys are moving. But I think Tesla will outgrow the market again in 2023, as Berlin is really ramping up. The Tesla Berlin factory will probably hit something like 350,000 units this year, maybe even more. Some will go to Taiwan and other places, but most will stay in Europe. And Tesla will still send a lot of Model 3s to Europe from China, as we can see with 11 ships already coming for Europe. So 350,000 units in 2023 for Tesla to sell in Europe, I think, is highly likely. If Tesla is able to do that, Tesla will grow something like 75% in Europe this year. I don't think the European BEV market will be able to grow that fast, so I do expect Tesla to become the best-selling EV brand in Europe again this year for the third year in a row, and increasing its market share yet again, even though Europe, as many analysts have been saying, next to China, it is the most competitive EV market. Remember, someone like Gordon Johnson was out saying in the beginning of 2022 that Tesla's Berlin factory was just a stock pump, and Tesla would lose huge EV market share in 2022 in Europe because of the competition. Well, that was clearly just BS. That facility is currently at a production run rate of close to 200,000 units annually. So even if they don't ramp up this year at all, that factory will produce something like $10 billion worth of cars in 2023. And with the price cut Tesla has made, I don't think Tesla will have any trouble selling every single EV they make in 2023, as Tesla continues to grow fast here in Europe. In Q4 2022, Tesla grew about 47% in deliveries year over year. So no demand problem in sight for Tesla in Europe. And when we look at Europe, we have to remember that the biggest car markets are growing in EV shares very, very fast, much faster than Norway did. And Norway is already there with almost 90% of the market being plug-ins and about 82% being pure BEVs in December. And we can actually use the last month of the year as a pretty good guidance of where the next year will end. As we have seen through the last couple of years, the percentage of the plug-in market in the last month of the year gets pretty close to the next year full year plug-in share, plus minus 5%. And we see Sweden are already at 74% plug-in and BEVs 51% in December. So they now have more BEVs than any other powertrain and is already more than half of the auto market in Sweden. But Norway and Sweden are of course very small countries. So let's check out some of the biggest markets in Europe. The UK ended the year with about 40% plug-in and BEVs being 32.9%. So BEVs is the biggest market share of the auto industry in the UK, just beating the petrol powertrain at 32.8%. Wow. And in Germany, the biggest car market in Europe, ended the year with 55% plug-in and BEVs being 33% as well. By far, the biggest market now in Germany is pure BEVs. Next biggest, plug-in hybrids, and then comes petrol. So we should expect the total year of 2023 to be something like 33% BEV market share in Germany and the UK at least, plus minus 5%, and plug-ins being half of the auto sales in Germany and the UK this year. So are there anyone of the German automakers that expect to be at 50% plug-in or just 33% BEVs this year? No, not even close. They will lose a lot of market share to Tesla and the Chinese that will really start to hit the streets in Europe in high numbers this year. We are going to see the European automakers in free fall this year as their ICE sales will collapse even more than they did in 2022. And no one of them is ready with the volumes of BEVs to take over for the loss in ICE cars. So we will see them shrink yet again and faster this year than they did in 2022. Remember, the Volkswagen Group did shrink about 617,000 units in 2022, from about 8.8 million in 2021 to 8.2 million in 2022. So the Volkswagen Group is down over 1 million units from 2020's 9.3 million units. And if the market in Europe will be close to 30% BEVs in 2023, that will mean that Volkswagen needs to be 30% BEVs to meet the demand in Europe. But they will not be even close, because that would mean they need to make about 1 million BEVs just for Europe. And the Volkswagen Group delivered just above 300,000 BEVs in Europe in 2022 and 572 units globally. So I don't think the Volkswagen Group will get even close to 1 million BEVs globally, let alone in Europe in 2023. So if the Volkswagen Group is able to grow its BEV sales by 50% in Europe in 2023, that will be very impressive, but that will still only be about 450,000 BEVs. So they could be about 550,000 units short compared to the 30% demand we could see here in Europe this year. So will Volkswagen be down something like 500,000 units just in Europe in 2023? Don't know, but it seems very likely. So we could see someone like Volkswagen maybe collapsing down to 7.5 million units in 2023, so getting close to a 2 million drop in unit sales in just 3 years, or close to 20% drop in sales volume. What will that do to someone like Volkswagen's finances? Or not to mention someone like Toyota that has not really started making EVs in volumes yet. We could see them drop like 10 to 20% this year alone, because China and Europe seems to be speeding up the EV adoption, and if those two markets will get to 30% BEV market share in 2023, that alone, without sales of BEVs of any other country, will stand for about 15% of the global auto market. And as Toyota will hardly be making BEVs, we could see them fall 15% in 2023 alone. So we should probably expect Toyota to drop about 1 million units in sales in 2023. But we will have to wait and see. But no matter what, 2023 looks to become the year of the EV. And the year belongs to Tesla. Just look at this chart here from the European EV sales by model. There is a very clear winner here, and the number 2 as well. And then we have all the rest. So Tesla is already leading by a huge margin in Europe, and now they just made a huge price cut the others can't really follow. And at the same time, the Model Y production in Berlin will probably be 6 times higher in 2023 than in 2022. How do you think this chart will look in 2023? Yeah, the Model Y will be up and beyond anything else on this list for sure. And probably also be the best-selling car of any kind in Europe as well. It was already the best-selling car in Switzerland in 2022 and the 3rd best-selling car in the UK. And in November, the Model Y was the best-selling car in Europe, period. And in 2021, the best-selling car in Europe was the Volkswagen Golf, which has been the king in Europe for many years, selling about 205,000 units in 2021. And I expect Tesla to produce about 350,000 units of the Model Y in just the Berlin factory this year. So even if I miss by 50,000 or 100,000 units, they will still get the best-selling car in Europe by far in 2023. And the ICE cars are also continuing their fall. As we can see, the Golf declined 50% in 2021 compared to 2019. And this has been the trend for years now, that the ICE cars are shrinking, just as I talked about in my video about the secret pinned-up demand there is for EVs, as people don't want to buy a new ICE car because they know their value will decline fast over the next couple of years and are just waiting for the right EV to come along. And I think Tesla's price cut have just helped that along quite a bit. And the trend is the same no matter what market we are looking at. EVs are rising and ICE are falling. And there are not enough EVs to meet the demand, and that is also why it does not matter that the competition is coming. There are more demand than we have supply. The auto industry is falling faster than the EVs are rising. In 4 years, the European market had lost more than 3.7 million units in new car sales. So the writing is on the wall. ICE cars are falling off a cliff. There is more demand for EVs than their supply, and Tesla will probably add about 1 million units to its production capacity in 2023, grabbing some of all that demand. And 350,000 of them will probably come from Europe, making it the best-selling car by a long shot in Europe in 2023. The year of the Rapid, the year of the EV, the year of Tesla.
And thank you for watching. And until next time, take care out there and be nice.